I'm going to point out a use for the frog. Okay.
A use?
Yeah. So let's just say the frog doesn't go the way. Oh, that's not the frog. Where'd the frog go? I had a little frog right here. Ah, there he is. Okay. So let's say the frog didn't go the way you wanted. And so I tore this one down into a smaller frog. And I made an accompanying thing here. And that's got even, this edge is the deckled edge right there. So now you have a lovely frog card to send to someone. You know, you can say, wanted to send you a beautiful card, but this is all I had. I don't know what you do with it. But I'm just saying, there's, this, I like this effect. Yeah, it's something that I like to do. In fact, this was a previous piece. This is a copy, so it's a pretty bad looking copy. But this was a piece that was a poppy, and you can see the torn edge here, and then added on top of another piece. And so a lot of the time when the painting, you have a painting, it's not quite what you wanted it to be. Sophie, no, okay. That you have a painting, it's not quite what you wanted to be, or the whole thing isn't. Maybe you have a piece of it that you like. You can tear it out, and particularly, you can mount it on something else, and all of a sudden, it's pretty impressive. And just like he's impressive. Okay. So this is two stages that I'm going to try to demonstrate into one, and it may not work that way. So know that you're going to see. Well, we're fixing to find out because I haven't tried this way. Okay, I have here an elegant rider. I have two of them. Not everybody's going to want to use them. And if you do, you could use them at different stages of the process. So they're for loan. These are fat ones, but I'm using a corner of one so that I can get a little bit of an outline here. And I would be kind of sketchy with that and light, because a little of this goes a long way. And when it's set, it's really set, but I'll be darned if I didn't have one totally wash out the other day, or almost totally wash out. So I'll be sure and get that mouth in there so it looks like he's, I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to show a little section of that. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be done at the first part of this. Or you could also use a gel pen, or you can do this with no pen at all. Okay, but I do like what happens when you add a little water to this gel pen. Not gel pen, this elegant rider, because it's meant, they call it an elegant rider because it's meant for calligraphy.
So is the blue coming from the ink? Okay.
It's got it's a mixture of a phthalo green and a purple in there, and sometimes it will separate. You can see the purples. You may see a lot of them later. It's hard to say. I'm blotting this because I'm going on with the next stage, and I thought that this could not wash out, and then I had one wash out the other day. So I'm not quite sure about this part. All right, so here's the thing. We have our saran wrap, and we are going to give ourselves an overall, whoa, there we go. See, I'm touching that, and it's bleeding. And I want some water down here, but I'm avoiding using a whole lot. So the thing is that the frog is, because I don't have my demo pieces. I'm sorry. I mean, of what I'd already done, and the one that showed you what not to do. I don't have it with me. So I can't show you what not to do until now. Okay. So I've got that wet. Let's just add in some color. They could be frog colors or not, you know. If you want a pink and purple frog, you could have a pink and purple frog. I kind of lead towards greens. So I want these colors to all have soft edges. I want them to blend in softly because we're going to use the saran wrap. And I might, though, keep some dry brush areas. Okay. Boy, howdy. Now, the thing is that this has got to be wet enough. This is where it gets ticklish. It's got to be wet enough that your saran wrap's going to work. I just don't like that spot there. I think I'm going to make him prettier. Okay. So this is another reason you might want to pin this in first, is simply that if you've got a real light drawing, you may want to go over it in some way or another so that it doesn't wash out during this process. You know, be experimental, playful. Then you've got to do this while it's still wet, so I recommend pulling off a piece of this and taking it over to your work area before you start, because you want to get this on. Let's just crinkle it up a little bit before you lay it down. And you can see a pattern emerge immediately. Oh, my hands are sticking to it. You can see a pattern emerge, and this is what it's going to look like when you get through. Down, stay. All right. So that's my underneath. And then what I have to do is I have to put it aside. It doesn't have to, it's not like salt. It will become dry enough to pull this up in 10 or 15 minutes. Then you can start another frog or work on feet. Okay. So that's the demo. That's the lovely, but see, this gives you something to work on top of. And if you are having problems with your brush work, this will make a lot of it go away.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Oh, paint. Get the fork out of the way. Okay. So we're putting, just pretend this has a frog on it. And you know, I could do this first, and then it just depends if you want to, you know, kind of paint around your frog some or not. I'm adding a little bit of color here. You can see where I'm putting water down. And the main reason that I'm using a smaller brush is just in case I had used the Elegant Rider and was trying not to wash it out, although I don't think that worked very well. So let's get some color down here. If you have a few little skips and bits of white in it, I think that's fine. In fact, it might be to your advantage. Oh, more paint, more paint. Have it already mixed up. Don't do what I'm doing. Green World. This is going to be Green World here. So, okay, so I've got a lot of paint here, and it's fairly wet. Oh, let's put a little gold in there.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's not really green till it's olive. Okay. Maybe that might be dark enough, I guess. Now here's the thing. A while ago, I said, you know, crumple this up. Yeah, crumple it up. But then that doesn't mean that you leave it totally crumpled. The idea was just to have some buckles in there so that when you lay it down, now you should, as you press it down, you should see the pattern. See the pattern in here? Mm-hmm. You should see that pattern. And if your thing is so crumpled up that you don't see a pattern, you're probably not going to get much out of it, is my guess. Now, it could be that I'm just not seeing everything. So, this over there. Don't mess it up now.
I'll try not to.
Okay. So now, I can hardly find my frog.
Oh, I see.
So let's see what to do with the frog. So this is sort of like a double exposure. You've got this thing that has no shape that means anything. And it's kind of ghosted in everywhere. And I noticed that once I've got a little bit of paint down here, the Elegant Rider doesn't want to mark as much. So I can actually press down a little bit harder now. And I'm not even saying that you want the Elegant Rider or that you need it. And again, I'm not doing the whole thing because there's no point in you having to watch the whole thing. Okay. But then let's see what we're going to do. Now, do I want my frog to come forward because the background's darker, or is the frog going to be darker? You know, and you choose. You may want some local color on that frog, in which case you may wind up making the frog darker. You could throw in a lot of leaves or shapes, you know. Obviously, he's got to be in some kind of environment. By the way, I did not mention before, but, you know, this limb that he's on needs to extend somewhere. And I wouldn't make it just straight over there, you know. I'd make it, oh, there's a bump, you know, a little bit of stuff happening. You can't even see some of my lines. So you can understand that you want to sharpen your image up however it needs it, you know. Okay, so I'm going to do what I think is the easiest thing. I'll take some of the same colors maybe, and I will start to put in a little bit of background, and probably some of that Elegant Rider is going to bleed into this too. So, you know, I might even want to make it feel like, you know, I could stamp a little bit there and make it feel a little bit leafy or something. So you can see the frog starting to emerge as I build some background around him. So this is sort of the second stage of the frog. You know, you would detail the frog. Again, you could use a pen. You don't need to use a pen. But, oh, and by the way, I've got these nice greens which would go really nice with a violet. You go great with a little bit of violet dropped in there. I love violets with green. Ooh. Oh, that makes me happy. So, you can see I'm dropping it into my green. And I'm kind of leaving some of those little clear spaces. I'm leaving it out of that, so it's just flowing into the wet area. That's just what I preferred to do with this. It has nothing, it doesn't mean that's the way that you need to do it, but that's one possible way of handling it. So you can see these beginning to emerge there. And then eventually I'm going to put some shape in the frog. But if he's got a background around him, that's gonna, you know, that's gonna help me know what to do next to the frog. And again, how dark am I going to make the background? I don't want to totally lose what I've done down here, you know. So if I get it too dark, I might just cover it all up, and I don't want that. I want that feeling of this background also being over the frog, and it just sort of, I don't know, it does a thing. Okay? You understand, it does a thing.
It does.
Okay. So that kind of gives you a clue of which way to head. But you can see that I got some nice pattern in here.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking to have happen. Although, see that area right there that's real textured? That's where the saran wrap got pressed down real tight against the paper, and it almost looks like granulation. You know, you can fake granulation with saran wrap sometimes. I've done that before. So, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe these light places are a little too distracting. I can't decide. Okay, and when this dries, because it'll dry lighter, it may be that my pattern underneath will show up more. But I'm kind of wishing my pattern had been a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So, because one of the things I can do with this frog to shape him later is I can actually lift some of the color to make some light areas, or I can add some white. And he's pretty light all over, so that may not work. So you're going to get different results, and you kind of have to try some different things. But I'm going to suggest that maybe on the next frog, you might try going darker. And some of you may have a dark frog. I mean, have a darker piece, but I simply don't know. And if you go darker, that means you need stronger lines. Otherwise, your frog may be totally lost to you.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
So after I remove saran, I go dry it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yes. You want to dry it
Dry it,
before you
okay,
work on top
before
of
we do
it.
that. Are we going to work on frogs next week too? I'm just
Mhm.
wondering how much time we have. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You have a lot of frog time.
Okay, good.
Richard.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.